Well, here we are in what feels like, as I often say on Mondays, the blink of an eye. Nevertheless, glad to have you with us starting off this week. And if you started off this week thinking it was cold enough for you, we've got another sure shot of some cold air coming as well. And in fact, ready or not, here it comes. A few flakes in the forecast. Yes, before the forecast period is indeed over. Not to my liking necessarily, but by Saturday night we could be back after a dry spell, after this rain is gone. For a few days at the end of the week, some dry conditions that will lead up to some precipitation Saturday that could be wet, maybe a little white. Not all that unusual. As I referred to, I guess late last week, it was on October the 19th and 20th of 1989 that Jackson set a record for the earliest snowfall. On today's date in our weather history, back in 2006, a trace of snowfall fell at the Jackson Weather Service. So not unheard of, just maybe unwanted. I've got a great deal of news already for tomorrow's program, which will be covering the the Magauffa County Fiscal Court meeting from Friday. I have a camera at another meeting this evening and some other headlines. That's all on tomorrow's program. On tonight, our first story will be one that I just attempted to air last Friday but fell short time-wise. I had received documentation only seconds or a few minutes before the end of the program about Big Sandy Regional Detention Center Jail Administrator Pete Fitzpatrick being found in contempt of court and sentenced to 30 days in jail. And we just could not prepare that quick enough to air it. I do have that tonight in its entirety. I also have a statement on his behalf. We've got some other arrests. We've got football. We've got what appears to be a man who was found in a cold creek after lying there for hours, possibly overnight. His situation was dire. It's being investigated as drug related. I'll tell you what I can. This all happened just earlier this afternoon. Some thefts to discuss and much, much more as we begin this week, this last full week of October, mind you. Folks, November rolls in here Wednesday of next week, 1 week from this coming Wednesday. How's that for you? With all of that said, we'll go ahead and actually begin with our first report. And as I did just refer to, Big Sandy Regional Detention Center Administrator Pete Fitzpatrick was officially found in contempt over money taken from an inmate and not returned in a timely manner, at least as it appears. Fitzpatrick sentenced to 30 days in his own jail, although that 30 days has been probated for a period of 2 years. This happened in Martin District Court Friday afternoon. Court documents that I got late last Friday say that this matter came before the court on October the 3rd pursuant to an order for jail administrator Pete Fitzpatrick to show cause as to why he shouldn't be held in contempt for failing to abide by a court order issued on August the 2nd. It was then that Fitzpatrick was ordered to return a total of $353 in cash and booking fees to a former inmate after the cash was taken from the inmate, Rayshawn Greer, and deposited into the jail's bank account. Martin County District Judge John Chafin says in the order that in Fitzpatrick's argument, he claimed that Kentucky statute allows the Big Sandy Jail to set what the judge says are the highest booking fees in Kentucky compared to other jails which charge anywhere from $20 to $25, $35 to $50, while the Big Sandy Jail charges $130. But the judge said that he found it difficult to comprehend what part of Kentucky statute Fitzpatrick was following and says that Fitzpatrick's reliance on that statute is misplaced. Judge Chafin also says in his writing that he takes issue with the administrator's second argument that jail personnel fully complied with the law when they admitted Rayshawn Greer to the jail, saying that if the court did believe Pete Fitzpatrick's account of what happened that day, that a guard, Michael Copley, initially had Greer's money in his possession, but that Copley then went out of the room and left Greer and Greer's money alone to talk to Fitzpatrick. And when Copley came back to the room, the money was gone. But after Copley and Fitzpatrick had Greer searched, his money was found on his person, and that Fitzpatrick then determined that the money was contraband per jail policies and confiscated it. But the judge says that the money was forfeited without any due process, and Greer was never charged for promoting contraband, and that depositing the money into the jail's account was not logging it in as property, but was against the law. The judge also said that while Fitzpatrick referred to the jail policies manual, it was readily apparent that Fitzpatrick didn't follow the manual and that none of the penalties therein allowed for forfeiture of the money in that circumstance. The judge also stated that Pete Fitzpatrick testified that he did receive the order that was given to him by the court to give Greer all of his money back, and that Fitzpatrick afterwards didn't appeal or challenge that order, but just ignored it until after the October the 3rd deadline. And even though Fitzpatrick did comply with the order 10 days later on the 13th, the judge says, quote, "It was too little, too late." And if Fitzpatrick had paid as he was ordered to do before the 3rd day of October, this whole situation would have been moot. But calling Fitzpatrick arrogant, Chafin found him in contempt and sentenced him to 30 days in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, but probated that sentence for a period of 2 years. Fitzpatrick was not in at the jail today when I called. However, he has sent us the following statement that says, quote, "In reference to the order filed in Martin County District Court last Friday by District Judge John Chafin, it is my intention to appeal the ruling, and I am confident that this will be resolved in favor of the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center after review." I'll be right back. Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle, and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Eastern Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Sayersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home.
The sun bathes us in the power of its warm glow and brightens our world. Now it can power your life. Cooperative Solar brings you hassle-free solar power from your local Kentucky Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Renewable, affordable, easy. Licking Valley RECC's Cooperative Solar. Join the community. CooperativeSolar.com.
Well, you've been asking for them, and they're finally here. A huge new selection of bourbon and bow ties, many classic bangles and new designs, earrings, necklaces, and little bourbons and bow ties for the little ones. The best selection they've ever had. And their fall decor is some of the best they've ever had too, and that's saying a lot. Gorgeous fall colors to warm your home from the front door to the Thanksgiving table. You simply must stop in and see everything inside the seasonal shop in downtown Sayersville.
Just when you thought it's gotten as good as it gets better. Appalachian Wireless now offers unlimited text, talk, and 2 gigs of data for as low as $45 a month. But wait, you can also get 5 lines on 8 gigs of data for just $145 a month. Both great deals on the Appalachian Advantage plan, and the savings keep getting bigger. How big? $25 per month, less than the other guys. Taxes due at time of sale. See store for details. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
In other local headlines, a case going back to this past September when 4 structures were broken into and or robbed and or damaged has now resulted in 2 arrests per warrants that were filled out on behalf of the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department, warrants for a Teresa Salyer and a John R. Montgomery. Magoffin Sheriff's Deputy Reggie Gosser opened up a case after receiving a complaint about a burglary that took place on September the 8th of this year, just several weeks ago, in the Lark Arnott Hill area of Magoffin County. The victim reported that a building had been broken into, damage was left behind, and several items were taken, well over $1,000 in property taken and damages. Also said that another victim had called the sheriff's deputy saying that her home nearby also broken into on the same date, as well as leaving behind damages, also items taken from that residence as well, and 2 other mobile homes were said to have been damaged during the same burglary spree, if you will, on this date. It's unclear as to whether or not any items were taken from those two mobile homes, but it appeared as though they had attempted to have been broken into. Nevertheless, Deputy Gosser spoke to several people in the area and got several tips of who had actually broken into the structures and where some of the items could actually be found. He actually went to one location and recovered several of the stolen items, and he also spoke with one of the individual's father, and then later learned that a Teresa Salyer and another man, Mitchell Shepard, were seen coming from the area where the burglary took place, and that they were also seen with some of the knives that were believed to have been stolen from one of the residents displayed on the hood of a truck looking at them. Deputy also questioned several other individuals and also learned that a John Montgomery and a Teresa Salyer had been talking about the thefts that they had done in Middle Fork, breaking into a house and a building and stealing some items. In all, they were charged, those being John R. Montgomery and Teresa K. Salyer, with 2 counts each of criminal mischief in the first degree, as well as criminal mischief in the third degree account each, and both were charged with burglary in the second degree and burglary in the third degree, as Gosser believes that they are the two responsible for breaking into the structures and or residences and stealing several items, a bag full of change and over $1,000, well over $1,000 in several items, personal effects that were taken from several of the homes. They were both lodged in the Big Sandy jail, both being held at last report on $10,000 cash bonds each. In other weekend arrests, Trooper Johnson of Post 9 notes that after the Sayersville Police Department stopped a vehicle for improper equipment and their rear license plate not illuminated since I saw you last, this violation happening on Saturday around 12:39 in the a.m., that there was said to have been a passenger in the vehicle in the rear seat, and that this man was that passenger. Having very labored speech showing signs of serious impairment, he was asked to exit the vehicle and stand in front of the police car for the officer's safety. But the subject stood in front of the vehicle as his information was given to dispatch and started acting erratic, started moving around quite a bit, and then authorities noticed that what he was doing was trying to hide or get rid of a pill bottle that he had tried to throw underneath the front of the car inside numerous pills, Schedule 4, Schedule 3, narcotics, several different varieties, none of which matching the description of the original contents on the outside of the pill bottle, which was in his name. Harold B. McCarty, 32 of Sayersville, was arrested for public intoxication of drugs, tampering with physical evidence, 3 separate counts of possession of a controlled substance for the 3 different types of drugs found, and also for having drugs in their improper container. And authorities are investigating after a man was found in this area of this creek in the southern portion of Magoffin County earlier today. We have an update on his condition and the details that we can share with you coming up right after these messages. As at least 1 out of every 5 people will likely get the flu this season, putting hundreds of thousands in the hospital and sadly proving fatal for another 50,000 more, now is the time for everyone 6 months and older to get their flu vaccination, so you'll be 60% less likely to have to worry about catching it. They've got flu shots ready, so all you have to do is come by and see the people who want to keep you from getting sick just as much as they want to make you well again when you are. Get your flu shot today at Hope Family Medical Center in Sayersville. Whoever you're rooting for at the next big game, pick up some of our famous hot and spicy wings or try our new fish dinner at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe. Or you can always just get a little bit of everything. Hot wings, crispy buffalo wings, dippers, strips, fried pickles, jalapeno poppers, cheese sticks, potato wedges, and more. The game is always better with Lee's.
Hi, this is John Harris at Gateway Motors. We're having a get it out of the mud sale. Everything we have is covered in mud, so if you want a good deal, right now is the time to get it.
Yeah, no joke, no gimmick. The road construction is killing them, so John has cut another $1,000 off this super economical 2015 Mitsubishi. It's got less than 22,000 miles, new tires, and it's only $69.95. He cut this 08 Crew Cab Dodge 4x4. It's $5,000 below book. He cut $2,000 off this Ford Escape 4x4 XLT to $69.95. And this 2010 Honda Civic with ultra low miles, only $83,000. His price just too low to advertise. Call today for quick pre-credit approval, $0 down, low income approval, and most payments under $200 a month at Gateway Motors in Sayersville, 349 cars. Like our 100% safe and secure mobile banking app at Sayersville National, we're always working to make your life a little easier. And our mobile deposit feature gives you more freedom and more time to do what you love the most. Just open the app, confirm the amount, and click. You're done. A safe, no-hassle way to manage your money from anywhere in the... Well, you get the drift. Now get the app at Sayersville National Bank, 349-3131. A tire more than 25% low, about 8 pounds, makes you 3 times more likely, and worn-out tires 11 times more likely to be in a tire-related crash. Don't take your or their safety for granted. Come in for a free inspection, 6 months, no interest financing, the best price and best selection at Conley Tire in Staffordsville. A sad situation developing out of Magoffin County earlier today where a man was found in a creek in a shallow water area where he apparently had been for several hours, possibly during much of the night, found very unresponsive by a woman who called 911 to alert authorities and EMS. Pictures from the scene after he was transported to the hospital show these 2 large rocks where his head was lying, the majority of his body off into the shallow area there. Temperatures last night well into the upper 40s, and the water temperature certainly cold may have also been a significant factor in helping or preventing his condition from getting any worse. That's still yet to be determined. From what I understand is that a female called Magoffin County 911 earlier this afternoon around 1 o'clock to say that she had discovered the man in this area. This was right off of the mouth of Punchin behind the residence of the late Kelly Lee Miller. It was there that she says that she discovered the man lying. He was very unconscious, unresponsive, not talking, but was alive when medical personnel arrived at the scene. He was taken to the hospital. At last report, he was listed in critical condition, and I'm told was on life support at this time. Magoffin County Sheriff's deputies Jonathan Holbrook and Neil Adams both responded. I was able to reach Adams via telephone conversation for only seconds a few moments ago as he was still in the area, and all he could confirm was that at this time they were not ruling out foul play, but at this time they were leaning more toward this being a drug-related incident. He did stress that it was still under investigation. He also did stress that there was an arrest that took place at the scene, and we also believe it is the woman who actually called 911. Jail records indicate that 32-year-old Holly J. Salyer of Sayersville was charged for being under the influence of drugs while on the investigation scene. Adams also confirmed that the male may have been lying in that area based on statements so far from those he's been able to interview since maybe late last night around midnight or 1 o'clock. Moving on, I literally have perhaps more than a dozen calendar announcements for next week and a few for tonight. They're always brought to you by Magoffin Farm Bureau. First, from our friends over at the Water into Wine Food Pantry over on Route 30 at the Lakefront Church of God. Senior Pantry Day is tomorrow, guys and gals, 8:30 till noon. And then their regular day of distribution from the food pantry is this Wednesday, 8:30 until 3. And I've also got dates already for November and December. We'll obviously hold on to those for now, but remind you when they get closer. But they are distributing food and goods at the Water into Wine Food Pantry tomorrow for seniors, Wednesday for everyone else. The Lakeville Trail of Terror, you've got one more night, and that's this Saturday night, 7:30 for a little fright, 8:30 if you dare for everyone else. They're on Lakeville. They got a lot of nice signs up that I've seen. They're on Lakeville, about a mile and a half up. Can't miss them, and can't go without having a good, scary time. Dalton's Elves and Silent Nights have teamed up for the holidays this winter. And if you know of a little person or a family who might need a little extra Merry Christmas for the holidays, well, these are the elves you can call. There's a long list of numbers there in the bottom of your screen. Pick one and see if they can certainly help you. Every child matters. Dalton's Elves and Silent Nights being a big part of the holidays. And we're a big part of your daily programming, and I hope of letting you know what's going on in and around the area. If you've got a calendar announcement like you just heard, birthdays and anniversaries too, you know the drill. Just tell me, and I'll tell everyone else. Turning to funeral service announcements this Monday, services were held earlier today for Barbara Lou Jackson Salyer, 78, of Royalton, who passed away last Friday. She's survived by her son David Dwayne Salyer and daughters Marcella McCarty, Connie Arnott, Gina Salyer, and Garletta Salyer. She was preceded in death by her husband Garland David. Burial was held at the Jackson Cemetery at Booger Hill. James Jimmy Patrick, 66, of Oakley, passed away on the 22nd, on Sunday, yesterday's date. He's survived by his wife, Kathy Ann Jackson Patrick, and son, Nicholas Patrick, and daughter, Tracy Mullins. Visitation is going to be after 6 o'clock this Wednesday. Private graveside services are going to be held on Wednesday as well. The Sagersville Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And Sharon Gail Montgomery Stevens, 53, of Bloomington Road, passed away on yesterday, married to David Stevens, who preceded her in death. She's survived by her daughters, Danielle Stevens and Tia Stevens. Visitation will be after 6 o'clock tomorrow, all day Wednesday. Services will begin Thursday at 2, all from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Once again, 53-year-old Sharon Gail Montgomery Stevens. And we also have partial listings tonight in honor of the following. I've been told of the passing tonight of 61-year-old Linda Tackett Rao of Middle Fork, who passed away on today's date. She was preceded in death by her husband, Newton. Arrangements are incomplete at this hour, but being made at the Magoffin County Funeral Home. And we've also been told of the passing of young infant Waylon Robert Line, infant son of Scott and Leah Line of Sagersville, who passed away on today's date at the UK Medical Center in Lexington. Arrangements in the child's honor still incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon, those two by the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway. Custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785.
I'm attorney Don McFarland. We all know that times are hard. Jobs are scarce. Most people that I know are struggling to support their families and make it through each day. Now imagine that you get seriously hurt while working on the job, and the insurance company for your employer refuses to pay wages and benefits while you are injured and cannot afford to pay medical expenses, household bills, and put food on the table to support your family. I can help. If you are being wrongfully denied workers' compensation benefits that you rightfully deserve, then give me a call and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
They're rolling out big, beautiful truck bodies every day, the best America makes in steel and aluminum, with their largest ever local stock of angle, sheet, round, I-beam, expanded, steel, and aluminum in several different finishes for whatever you're working on. And if the dump body you're driving needs parts, they've got them in stock. And if you need a big project fabricated from scratch, they've got you covered at Logan in Salyersville since 1904. An 05 with 114,000 miles for under $3,000. Yeah, this week's special is the best way to describe this Ford Focus at Broadway Auto Sales in Paintsville, where you can also get a slick deal on this slick-looking 02 Toyota Tacoma extended cab, and this very hard-to-find, sporty, and roomy Dodge Magnum, this Hunter's Special, a 95 Wrangler, all the accessories, winch lights, and more. And take everybody with you and ride in style in an 06 Chevy Trailblazer, 4x4, third row, and more. At Broadway Auto Sales in Paintsville.
Home energy use is on the rise. Every year, new devices, more devices. We are using more energy. Simple Saver helps you trim peak energy usage and pays you for being energy smart. You can receive up to $50 in annual bill credits. Over the years, the savings really add up with Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperative's Simple Saver. Licking Valley RECC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Well, football has come to an end for Hornets fans this season after hosting Breathitt County this past Friday night on senior night. Here we are getting caught up on some highlights and some scores from around the area. Montgomery County came into Friday night's game sadly saying goodbye to their seniors, but at the same time looking to go out with a win over Breathitt County, while saying goodbye to a less than forgiving season. Several injuries, obvious, and 5 losses in a row were carrying the Hornets into Breathitt County. Breathitt County, who drew first blood with a touchdown at 1:38 to go in the first quarter, and who opened up the second quarter with this touchdown for a 14-0 Bobcat lead. And then Cameron Stacy launches one down to the 15, and the Bobcats break through on a 1st and goal, and it's a 22-0 game. But things finally go right, at least for a little while for Montgomery County. After a bit of a bobble on the kickoff, Nolan Arnott recovers, dodges, and then takes advantage of a hole that Montgomery County created in the Bobcat defense for a 75-yard kickoff return. That put Montgomery County on the board, but Breathitt County will continue to roll. 6-42, your final score, as we now put a lid on Hornet football for this season. The Hornets went 2-8 for the year. They couldn't pick up a district win, and they'll hang up their helmets. But not everyone is done. In fact, there are a few games left on the regular season schedule for a few teams. And some folks, of course, with district play already said and done, know where they're headed and who they're facing in the postseason. And we'll begin with Johnson Central, who suffered their first loss this past, well, not this week. They played, this past Friday night. They played Ashland Blazer on the road, and Blazer took out the Eagles, their first loss of the season, by 3, 18-21, your final score. So that leaves Central with a road game. They're at Belfry this Friday night, and that will already head them to take on Mason County. They'll be hosting Mason County at home in the first round. Of course, the defending Johnson Central Golden Eagles taking on Mason County in the first game of the Commonwealth Gridiron Bowl. That game's set for November the 3rd. But remember, they've got one more week this Friday to get through before they can go on to the postseason. And just across town, also only with one loss on the season that came at the hands of Hurricane West Virginia back at the end of August, the Paintsville Tigers have now rolled on to 6 wins in a row, and they have only had 2 district games, 2 wins, so they are undefeated in their district. Now, they will also finish their regular season this Friday night. They're going to be on the road at Fleming Neon, but they're already set to take on Nicholas County. They'll be hosting Nicholas County in the first round of the postseason on November 3rd as well. Big night for football in Johnson County, as again, these 2 teams rolling right on into the postseason and doing so with a stellar record during the regular season. As for Lawrence County and the Bulldogs, they have wrapped up their season as well after a home loss to Floyd Central. They dropped the last 2 games in their regular season schedule. 30-43 was the final score. Does put the Bulldogs at even on the season at 5-5, but also puts them in the locker room for the rest of the year. And as for the Cougars of Morgan County, a loss to Powell, 14 to an inverted 41. That'll put the Cougars right now just below the halfway mark at 4-5. They've got 3 wins in their district, and they're going into the postseason. While they do take on Sheldon Clark on the road this Friday night, it's inconsequential for the playoffs. They'll be at Casey County November the 3rd in their first round of gridiron action. Now, you recall last week that we were off a day due to some equipment issues that I'm still kind of just on a temporary fix because the equipment that I've ordered has not been to my satisfaction, to be quite honest, and I'm still kind of in that same scenario, but enough to get the show on without any hiccups. One of the feeds, though, is the local Doppler radar that I can't pull up at this hour. That does show another wraparound of some showers getting ready to roll through for the next little bit for the viewing area. But after that, we're going to start to see those on the wane. And in fact, while we have showers likely mainly before 11, they will start to decrease. Maybe some scattered showers early tomorrow, but the heavy stuff is over is what I'm trying to get at. And no complaints here. Other than that, we'll see 47 degrees tonight. Winds coming out of the southwest. We've seen them and still are seeing them move just about anywhere from 8 to 17 miles per hour on the lower side of that now, but they're still going to be persistent and pesky, and those winds will carry into tomorrow. While we do have a chance of some scattered showers, mainly before 11 or noon tomorrow, temperatures take another big hit at 57, but the winds also stick around still out of the southwest, anywhere from 9 to 17 miles per hour under what will be, take a while to get there, but I think in the latter afternoon, partly sunny skies. Wednesday, 52 and 38, still mostly cloudy. I think those clouds will start to give way maybe late Wednesday evening to a little bit of clearing skies. Winds still coming out of the southwest, maybe 7 miles per hour or so. And after that final front, things will start to, well, let's just leave it at this for now. Let's just say they're going to improve for Thursday. Definitely an improvement. 64, sunny, clear, mid-40s for nighttime lows. Friday, 66 and sunny again. We'll go back into the upper 30s. Friday night, the next setup. After a cold front midweek, we've got another one. Saturday, another system that gives us a 40% chance of showers late Friday night into your Saturday, and this is where we'll be watching and talking about all week long, because it is Saturday's forecast that has the first of its kind for the season. Indeed, we will see a chance of showers, and you'll notice the bottom far right of your screen, I have showers split, half green, half white, because by Saturday night, you'll notice the nighttime low of 31, any precipitation that's lingering, and it looks as though there will be, might be in the form of a few snowflakes flying about. Could be our first, I don't expect it to be our first significant or maybe even trace of snowfall, but it will be a staunch reminder that, hey, it is Kentucky, and it can happen at any time. And I'm not certain what kind of mood that forecast will put you in, but I hope you have a wonderful Monday evening nonetheless, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow night for more exclusive news and coverage on Your News Today. Thanks for watching.